Hello and welcome to the Real Truth Congregation. I am its host, the Couch Kumara, aka Clever Sausage. Today I am going to ask the question: why do the religious, i.e. Jews, Christians or others, when you present them the truths via links to sources by renowned experts, by this I mean their evidences, established facts, etc., etc., and their holy books or Bibles, why do they get all mouthy and nasty, make unverifiable assumptions about you, tell lies or make up lies, and act like little kids with their nasty retorts? Why do they get all mouthy, nasty, make unverifiable assumptions about you, tell lies, and act like little kids who are deprived of a candy bar in a supermarket? Okay, examples. A Jew in the comments, I believe she's a Jew. I thought she said she was a Syrian, but by the way she was carrying on and she mentioned the Bereshit, she's actually a Jew. Right, down here in the comments. Tried to convince all that the king of the Exodus was Ramses. Okay. I replied, and stated no, he wasn't, due to the evidence that the biblical chronology or timetable all hold to was found to be 100 to 200 years too far forward. This person then said to me, this person denied the evidence brought through these links to these sources, these experts, and dogmatically kept trying to tell me that Ramses was the king of the Exodus. Okay, the Bible says so, and all this. So, what did I do? So here's proof that she's probably Jewish. That she studied the Bible with commentaries, oral Torah, and found clues which could precise better what happened when. And she'd like to hear his opinion. This guy see why. Basically, everyone agrees Ramses too was the pharaoh of Moses' time, the Munipta, the pharaoh of the Exodus. But if I think I have strong evidence, Akhenaten was the pharaoh of Joseph's arrival in Egypt, and Tutankhamun, the pharaoh who duped about 7 cows alone. And then no one agrees with this. I would love to discuss it with you, see why if you wish. Okay, so he agrees. Did he get it? Yeah, he got it. We'll respond soon, blah blah blah. She says Ramsey. Well, this is what I say to her, right? Because this is what I found. Let's get back to what she said again. She claims that Munipta replaced. Basically, everyone agrees Ramses II was the pharaoh of Moses' time, when Munipta, the pharaoh of the Exodus. But she thinks he has strong evidence that Akhenaten was the pharaoh of Joseph's arrival in Egypt, and Tutankhamun, the pharaoh who duped about the 7 cows. Okay, so I replied down here. Okay, Ramses wasn't the king of the Exodus. Chronology has been proven off by 200 or more years. The city of Ramses was real though. Okay, she replies, Ramses was the pharaoh who killed children and sheltered Moses. His successor, Munipta, was the pharaoh of the Exodus. There was a consensus about that. Okay, so I replied, it was proven by an Egyptologist or archaeologist that the chronology was about 200 years too far ahead, and the king wasn't Ramses, yet the city of Ramses was used for some other thing or event. Even the Bible doesn't say who he is, right? She replies, your Egyptologist is unique in his opinion because Nicta Stele forced everyone to link him with Exodus and therefore put Ramses II as the Pharaoh of Moses. Plus there are tons of details that I talk about here. Why not? Okay, that Nicta Stele in these following videos, okay, just says Israel, the nation or the tribe of Israel, was defeated by the king, the Pharaoh of that day, right? And they were subject to, they were slaves to him. That's what it says. It explains it in the video, right? Okay, so she comes back at me with, I come back at her with, oh my dog, do I have to provide the link of the new chronology to the documentary of the new chronology that proves he wasn't? Tacitus, the Roman historian, in his book says that it was Baracus, the king. He was the king of Egypt at the time. Egyptian carvings, and the Egyptians' carvings at Saqqara say it was Ahmose I, but others in the Kemet Egyptian House of Consciousness circle say that it was his wife who became king queen, his son too young to fight when she trained up to attack Avaris. Because apparently in the Ahmose account that is carved, it's either Saqqara or Luxor, right on the pillars there. They invited these people in, these foreign kings, right? Because there was a famine in the region of Europe at the time, and Egypt was the land of plenty. So these nice black Africans, Egyptians, let them in, right? And they took advantage, they increased the number, they had chariots and they rode up and down, 2 in the morning, that sort of stuff, and just caused a massive ruckus. So this king, Moses, got sick of it. He says, oh, enough is enough. Egypt, let's kick these dudes out. In Tacitus, the book of histories, he says it's Bocchus. The king at the time was Bocchus, and he was told by his oracles, right, his seers, get these people out of there because they herded swine, and the swine were infected with leprosy. And they says, well, if you don't get those people out of here, and their pigs, their swine, your people are going to get infected and die. So he kicks them out, right? And Moses, right, says, because the people were like wailing and stuff outside, because they had no water, they had no food or whatever. Now what do we do? And he says, if I can provide the solution, will you make me your leader? Because he really wanted to be our leader, right, of those people. So they said, yeah, sure. So he went wandering around and he found some animals or something that came down this hill, and then that led to this water hole, this oasis, whatever, right? So he helped the people, all this sort of stuff. But he said to the people, this is in the book of Tacitus Histories, right? Don't put your trust in any man or any god, That's what he actually says, and go and read it, research it, right? Okay. And then, he became their leader, and they blew this ram horn. They had this Passover in commemoration of what happened, and because they didn't eat the swine and all that sort of stuff. Okay, this chick laughs at me, right, and says, "Oh, Tacitus, is that your source, really?" Okay, what's the problem with Tacitus, right? A lot of people seem to say that. Yeah, sure. As I've heard and realised in another video I watched, the Romans were very political, right? And they always wanted to be looked upon as the good guy, right? Spoken of as the good guy. I mean, like in Rome, if you wrote something different, well, they come down hard on you, right? Okay. But this chick keeps insisting, right? After all this evidence from the experts, right? They provided her the link to the discoveries of the biblical chronology as way off, and exposing the is this persistent claims. Oh yeah, the persistent claims of the king of the Exodus, not as a king of their era, but a district in the land of Egypt in the times of Joseph, Jacob's son, in the Bible. Okay. Let's look at Genesis 47:11. Okay, to verify that. Okay, I have it here somewhere. Oh my gosh. 47. And we'll see what it says according to the Bible. Okay, which should be pretty similar to the Torah, the Tanakh, whatever, right? Jewish, because that's where it came from, right? The original source. So what does it say here? Go to the Bible Gateway. Actually, Bible Hub is better because it gives you a pulpit commentary explanation, right? So we'll go back. See if we can find Bible Gateway and Bible Hub. So okay, here's all the biblical versions we've got, right? All the Americanized, modernized copies of copies. Okay, we've got the New International Version. So Joseph settled his father and his brothers in Egypt and gave them property in the best part of the land, the district of Ramesses, as the Pharaoh directed. It doesn't name which one. It doesn't say in the district of Ramesses as Ramesses directed. No, it doesn't say that. Okay, here's another one. So Joseph, from the New Living Translation. So Joseph assigned the best land of Egypt, the region of Ramesses, to his father and his brothers, and he settled them there, just as Pharaoh had commanded. Okay, it's a different version, right? I'm looking for another one. Here's the Berean, right? Berean study Bible. They really searched the Bible, apparently, the scriptures in their day, to see if it was true, etc., etc., that what someone was quoting was actually in there, that it was all true, and so forth. So they were highly regarded. So Joseph settled his father and brothers in the land of Egypt and gave them property in the best part of the land, the district of Ramesses, as Pharaoh had commanded. And there again, it doesn't give the name. If you're a King James lover, what does it say here? Okay, in the land of Ramesses. And this one says the same, pretty much the same. Okay. You find in the New English Bible it says district as well. It wasn't. It was in the land of Ramesses, right? You understand? So the woman was incorrect. Okay. Stating that it was in the Bible that he was the king, Ramesses, right? Okay. When he in fact wasn't. Is it 22? Okay, we can go. Okay, where else was it? Yeah. Yeah. So she laughed at my reference to Tacitus, a renowned Roman historian, and I think she's. I don't think she laughed about the film Patterns of Evidence. The film is better than that documentary on YouTube. Go watch that. Yeah, the film Patterns of Evidence. Okay. So yeah, as we looked at that verse, see it says there in Joseph's days it was a district or land of the land of Ramses. It doesn't indicate the Pharaoh's name, and it doesn't say it was Ramses. Okay, or Ramses II. So she was an Aaron. Okay, you can look at the New English Bible. It will say the district of Ramses and also the ancient Assyrian breeder. Okay, Genesis here, go to 47, and it'll say the same thing. It was in the district or province, you know, in the land of Ramses. Okay. Okay, yeah, it does not say Ramses was a king in Joseph's days. It doesn't even mention his name. By the way, Pharaoh is Greek for house of. So the king was in a house. Okay. Basically, it's the house of Tutankhamun, because he ruled it, he resided in it. Okay, so it's the house of Tutankhamun. Yeah, there's video evidence of the era in the biblical chronology or timeline to prove Ramses couldn't have been and was never the king of the Exodus. And you have a look at the book of Exodus, it says Pharaoh, right? But it never mentions his name. Okay, and that stele of Enata, it says about Israel. Okay? It doesn't say Ramses was the king of the Exodus. Okay. So, okay. Jesus. Okay. So I kept trying to advise her that she's incorrect, right? Okay. Asking her, why she's thinking it's funny that what's your source? Tacitus, really? I get that a lot. Okay, it's just a reference of a renowned historian. So I put here, it's just an example, a reference of a renowned historian. Look at the video links. Is your source Josephus? Because they tend to cling to Josephus, who is deemed as fake, right? That someone's added to his writing because his style was changed, all that sort of stuff. So I put nothing wrong with Tacitus, except he was very political as Romans were, right? And here's a link to Simcha Jovovich video, the Exodus decoded and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, he gets a bit. That's with what's his name, James Cameron, I think. He gets a bit poppy or commercial, I think. Yeah, he's cool, but I'd rather have the other one. What's the other one? Patterns of Evidence. Okay. Yeah, so she says, I'm not going to start to discuss obvious things with me, right? And so I asked, okay, I just looked at Genesis 47:11, it says, blah, 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 King James Version. Okay. So Joseph settled his father and brother, gave him lands in the district. New English, it's not saying Ramses was a king of the Exodus or of Joseph's era, as Pharaoh had commanded. And where in the Exodus book does it say Ramses too was the king of Egypt? Yeah. Here's some history here. Ramses II, aka Ramses the Great, Ramses II, aka Ramses, and so forth, was the third pharaoh of the 19th dynasty. He was one of the most powerful and influential pharaohs of the ancient Egypt. King Ramses II took the throne of Egypt in his early 20s, around 1279 BC, and ruled for 66 years until his death, 1213 BC. Okay. And I'm asking you, why won't she talk to me anymore? Because I've exposed her with the facts as one thinking they know who really doesn't. And I asked earlier if you are Syrian and got no answer. Okay. Again, I queried her comment the obvious. I just showed verses where Joseph gave his father and brother lands in a district called Ramses. It doesn't say he was the king in Joseph's day, or the Exodus as you keep claiming it does. Kitab Asheret Brita, Genesis 47:11. Okay, this is how it reads. And Joseph settled his father and his brothers and gave them inheritance in the land of Egypt. They had their power to. In the most beautiful part of the land, in the land of Ramses, as the Pharaoh, not named, had commanded. Okay. Right. Okay, here's some Assyrians who I'm trying to talk to with on Assyrian history, right? The real Assyrian history, because I was told by an Assyrian, native born Assyrian, that if I read it, it would blow my mind, my religious mind, okay, because it's completely different to what the Jews are pushing, what Christians are pushing, okay. So I want the real history with no subtitle, because there's Assyrian videos with the real history with no subtitles in English, as I'm doing a project on the real Assyrian history and religious texts, okay. So this Assyrian says, oh, yeah, it's in the Bible. Assyrian handwork, God, he called us, we are Lord and man. Obviously it's English, isn't that correct? Go and read it. So I did, and this is what it says, and this is my reply. The men of Nineveh will rise with judgment with this generation, those in their era, and hold it accountable, the Pharisees, the Jews, etc. For they, at Nineveh, repented by the preaching of Jonah, or Jonah the dove, and behold, one greater than Jonah is here. Now, Maria, Yeshua Mashiach, or Jesus the Messiah. Mate, I have a copy of the original Cypriot Brita of the original Assyrian Aramaic or Asheret, compiled in Ur-Hai in 800 BCE by the scribes, sometimes after Jonah had visited Nineveh, sometime after Jonah had visited Nineveh, translated into English by a native born Mesopotamian from Vietnam. I want to know all about the real Assyrian history that the Kurds want to destroy, and the Muslims also say don't want that history, old religion or any other, but the Islam on the planet. I've looked at the supposed accurate history here, this video here, concise history of ancient Assyria and the Assyrian Empire, historical highlights and great kings, and it's very, very interesting, but I don't know if this guy's accurate, so I asked somebody to reply, but everybody says he is, right? Okay. Yeah, and there's a few other Assyrians in here that just won't answer me, that send me a little message, but they won't say, yeah, okay, I'll teach you all, or here's the link to that so you can complete your project. Okay. And okay, here's another one that this person says. Isn't it amazing that the Bible talks about Ashur, son of Sem, Parasha Noah, who settled in Nineveh? Okay. It's just Assyrian put down here in the bottom. Isn't it interesting that all's made up because the character Ashur for the Jews is much different. The God Ashur from the God Ashur who came way before and is the creator God, like Yahweh, just like Yahweh. Is it interesting that the Bible is based on Babylon in its own fiction mythos is post-antiquity from the area of the people who wrote this stuff down? Yeah, it's kind of a hard thing to understand because he doesn't speak English very well, hasn't written very well, so yeah, doesn't really make sense, but if you can get your head around it, basically he's saying that where it originated from, supposedly, right? She replies, Asher has nothing to do with this, he's just the son of Jacob, one of the 12 sons. Yeah, that Asher is, right? That Asher, A-S-H-E-R, okay, that's a completely different guy. Okay, this person here is a descendant. She's saying Asher is a grandson of Noah. Yeah, he's a descendant, okay, of somebody else, one of those sons, right? Asher is a grandson of Noah, son of Sem or Shem, Semitic people. There is roughly 750 years between Asher and Ashur. Gods and ancestors might look the same because people of this time had great respect for their elders. Okay, we'll get to that in a minute. And this Assyrian says, wrong, then your false god is an ancestor and therefore you have no god, but by your false view here that's highly corrupt. And he replies to her again, it's W not U, there's no U or O letters in Hebrew, just W, Y, A vowels. Okay. So she replies, sorry, but you don't make any sense. Yeah, which he didn't. So he replies, the second correction to you does make sense to you as does the first. There are no O or U, I letters in Hebrew or E letters either, and you are lost and godless and confused fool. You need to wake up and see the light. Okay, so I put here, that's Ashur, A-S-H-E-R, not Ashur, A-S-H-U-R. Okay. She says she says to me, nope, it's Ashur. Ashur is someone else. Check the Bereshit and Noah Parasha. Right? So what I'm telling her, that's what I was saying, is I got it from the original ancient Assyrian Aramaic or Ashur. The Brita or Genesis compiled at Ur-Hai around 800 BCE. The Brita, Genesis 10:22. The children, descendants of Shem, right, were the Elamites, the Ashurite, the Assyrians. Okay, and these guys here, ask an Assyrian what this is talking about. And here's the pulpit commentary, right, from Bible Hub, Genesis 10:22. Pulpit commentary explanation meaning Genesis 10:22. The children of Shem were 26 in number, of whom 5 were sons. Elam, Elamites, a region adjoining Sinai, or whatever it is, and Midian, stretching from the Persian Gulf to the Red Sea. That's with the Red Sea. Yeah, that's all Bible Hub. Don't make mistakes and don't check it. The people first met with as Persians and Ashur. Okay, this is how the Greeks spelled it, because in their language they don't have an SH. Okay, so they spelled it like that. But this is incorrect. It should be, doesn't have the H, it should be A-S-S-U-R, right? Ashur or Ashur, the ancestor of the Assyrians. He was the king who was called Ashur, who sat on the throne as a vice-regent of God. He wasn't God, but a representative appointed, ruled by God. Okay? Yeah, like the vice-regent is the Pope. He's the man who sits on the throne and rules that city or that like in this case, this guy rules their country. Okay, because Asher was the name of God. So yeah, this girl, he doesn't know her history. There's something wrong there. Okay, I'll show you this other comment by an Assyrian, and he basically says where it originated from, according to the history. Okay. So this person really doesn't know what they're talking about. Okay. What do you say here? This Assyrian. Don't you mean? Okay, it says here. My pleasure, glad you found it useful. Assyrians are one of my favourite peoples to cover. Thanks for stopping by. Stay safe. Continuing, he says at the end. But don't you mean just proved more the Bible, since the Bible gets broken by Assyrian truth as well as reality? Okay. He uses the Bible actually as proof of outside sources that disprove it. Understand it more instead of the Bible, which is a fiction text of godless deception. So what he's saying here, what other people are giving you is incorrect. Because I will show you something. Okay. Hopefully this verifies what he's getting at. Genesis chapter 1. This is from Bereshit, the Assyrian Aramaic. Bereshit, Brita, right? In Hebrew it's called Bereshit, Genesis. Okay. Way down here, after he's done this creation act, God has done this creation act. Okay, I think he's created paradise. Well, there's paradise. Let's go find it. Okay, here we go. This is Genesis 1 verse 10 to 14. Okay, 10 to 14. Right? And the river flowed out of Eden, the paradise, Eden, to irrigate the paradise. And from there it divided and became 4 tributaries, which means 4 heads. Right? Down here, what's that? 10, yeah, 210, literal, Aramaic, idiomatic figure of speech. Okay, that's the way they express themselves. Okay, brought their thoughts across. Heads, right? In the English you could say river heads, because that's what it says in the English translations. And it's split into 4 heads, 4 river heads. Okay. And the gold of that land, okay, 11. The name of the first is Pishon. That is the one which goes around all the land of Havilah, where there is gold. Okay, let's just shut this down for a second so you can see. Hopefully you can see this. Here's Havilah here. Okay, so that's where the Pishon is, the Kuwait River. Okay, so it all starts from here. Okay, splits into 4. 1, 2, 3, whatever. What was it? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So we go back. Okay. The name of the first is Pishon. That is the one which goes around all the land of Havilah, where there is gold. And the gold of that land is good, where there is also lapis lazuli and beryl stones. 212. Aramaic idiomatic construction. There are beryllium and rocks of beryl, so jewels, some sort of jewels. Right, this lapis, what is it? Lapis lazuli was used quite a bit by the Assyrians and etc. as giving gifts to somebody else, some other nation or tribe or whatever, throughout history. Okay, so it's very valued. Okay, as ornaments, etc. And the name of the second river is Gihon. This is the one that goes all around the land of Cush. Supposedly Cush is Ethiopia. Okay. Don't know. Yeah, so it's Cush here. Gihon, okay, around here. Yes, Kush supposed to be Ethiopia. It's supposed to go around it, around Ethiopia. Okay. 14. And the name of the third river is Tigris, which goes before Asher, and the fourth river is the Euphrates. It's over there. Okay, where's the Euphrates? Here's the Euphrates. Here's Eden, supposedly. Here's Euphrates. Here's the Tigris. Hiddekel. Tigris. Okay, and this goes around the land of Asher as a state. Okay. And the name of the third river is Tigris, which goes before Asher. Okay. And the fourth river is the Euphrates. Okay. Asher somewhere around this one, up here somewhere. Yeah, this is supposed to be the Red Sea, the Sea of Reeds. This is before plate shifting and all that sort of stuff, I suppose. When Earth was just one gigantic mass. Yeah, before it all got broken up because of plate shifting and earthquakes and plate shifting and all that sort of stuff. Seismic activity. Okay, yeah, so here we go. Where are we? Oh my gosh, I lost it again. Yeah, it goes before Asher, which is the land of the Asherai, the Assyrians. Okay, it's not talking about no son of Asher or son of whoever. It's talking about a region. This is before it became Assyria, right? Okay. So further down, I'm not sure what that verse is of that person called Asher. Maybe it's like 6 or something like that. I'm not really sure. Should be one of those lines down here somewhere. Okay, after Noah. Oh yes, after the flood. Okay, after the supposed flood, which really happened in the Mesopotamian regions, according to Bernard Grimm's Timetable of History. Okay, page 3, I think it is, under the heading G, Daily Life. Yeah, disastrous floods happened. Mesopotamian region, even quoted as fact by the translator of this Assyrian Aramaic or Asher, Brita or Genesis, native born Mesopotamian Victor N. Alexander, on his website. Okay, so we're going to find 9:12 when they come out of the ark. All was hunky dory. Again, God blessed Noah and his children. Multiply and increase and fill the earth. So they do. Okay, and the sons of Noah that left the ark were Shem, or Sem, as they put it in their Hebrew, their Jewish way. Sem, or Shem, Ham, or Kim, and Japheth. Kim became the father of Canaan. Okay, and then he became the forefather of that land, Canaan. Right. Okay. Noah had these 3 sons, and from them spread everyone on the earth. Okay, where are we? 19. Literal Aramaic idiomatic figure of speech was sowed or scattered. Okay. Scattered all over the earth. And Noah got drunk. Okay, trying to find it. Okay, here we go. And these are the birth records of the children of Noah, Shem, Cam, and Japheth, to whom was born children after the flood. Okay? So they had offspring, didn't they? The children of Japheth were Gomer, Magog, Madai, blah blah blah. And the children of Gomer were blah blah blah, right? And Javan and so forth. Okay. And the children of Cam were Cush, Ephraim, Put, etc. Okay. I'm trying to find it. Where is it? Asher. Who's Asher? Okay, here we go. And to Shem, Japheth's great brother, there were also born children. He became the father of all the children of passage. What does that mean? 21. 10:21. Literal Aramaic idiom. It's the expression. The way their thought comes across. They put their thought across. Hebrews. It's the Hebrews. 1024, literal Aramaic name Hebrews comes from this name, Awu. Hopefully, I don't know Aramaic that well. Awu, to cross over. Type over here. Should be to cross over. Someone who crosses over, implying passage. Because they crossed over 2 rivers apparently. Yeah, crossed over 2 rivers apparently. Okay, so here, this lady states, and this other guy tried to convince people and tried to convince me. Here it says, as I posted it from the modern Bibles, the children of Shem were the Elamites, the Asherai, the Assyrians. This is the Assyrian, the Assyrians, okay, in the land of Asher, and then these are Pashshadi, the Lothians and Aramaeans. Okay, these people gave them a hard time in that video, documentary. They were attacking them all the time, and the Assyrian king, whoever he was trying to keep them out all the time. It was the Aramaeans, the Chaldeans, and Mediais or something, Medes, and others, Hittites, etc. But they were mainly coming in all the time now. The Aramaeans, the Chaldeans, and attacking. Okay. And then when Ashurbanipal died, those ones that were put under subject through conquering them, yeah, they saw it as weak, so they came in and destroyed that nation. Okay, so there you go. The children of Shem were the descendants. Okay, that's what it's saying here, the descendants. Right, the peoples that came later, they were the Asherai or the Assyrians. So that lady is incorrect. Okay. Go back to this video. Okay, here's Asher there. Asher was the name of the land, the name of God. Okay, and a king was put on that throne. A series of kings, they were appointed, they were put on that throne. It's vice regents, representatives of God, according to the Assyrian history. Okay. So that proves that that lady was wrong, but she won't admit to it. Okay, so I'm going to go from my notes again. Okay, so I've debunked their claims. Okay, but what I'm trying to get at is this other guy, I've blocked him. He started coming at me saying, you know, it doesn't matter what the translations say, they all mean the same thing. I was like, no. As I pointed out, Asher, A-S-H-E-R, was a person born, what was it? Asher. Yeah. From one of the sons. Where is he? Yeah, he was one of the sons, I'm sure of it. Son of the sun. He came out of the boat, out of the ark. Here we go. It is. And to Cush was born Nimrod. This is Victor in Alexandria, supposedly his bloodline goes right back to Nimrod. He was named after his father. He had that middle name, Nimrod. And to Cush, or Ethiopia, was born Nimrod, who began to be a giant of the earth. He was a lion-hearted giant before the Lord. That is why it is said, like Nimrod, a lion-hearted giant before the Lord. And he was the head of his kingdoms, which included Babylon, Erech, Akkad, and Calah, in the land of Sumer, Shinar. It's a Syrian land, right? Sumeria, Syria. From those lands, there emerged the Asherai, the Assyrians, okay, who built Nineveh and the towns of Rehoboth and Calah, okay, and Resen, the great city between Nineveh and Calah. There you go. Okay, so Asher, okay, Asher. I find it verse on Asher where it says, Esher was a son. It's probably we'll probably go here. Easy. Instead of trying to look for it. Esher. Yeah. Slow thing. Oh my gosh. Should use the glasses. Esher. Who was Esher? That's a pretty good point. One of the tribes of Israel that in biblical times consisted of the people of Israel. So it's nothing to do with the Asherite. It's a different spelling. The Britannica, one of the top encyclopedias for 250 years, states here, Asher, A-S-H-E-R, was one of the 12 tribes of Israel that in biblical times constituted the people of Israel, who later became the Jewish people. The tribe was named after the younger of two sons born to Jacob, okay, also called Israel and Zilpah, the maidservants of Jacob's first wife Leah. Okay. Any more here? Asia. Yeah. The eighth son of Jacob's sons, the second born to him by Zilpah, the handmaid of Leah. His uterine brother was Gad, Genesis 35:26. Okay, who was Asher in the Bible? His name means blessed. He was the eighth son of Jacob. Okay. And this Asher wasn't the forefather. The hell? Wasn't the forefather of Ashur, A-S-H-U-R. It was Kim. Sorry, who was it again? Jeez. Okay. Nope. Okay, I'm just going to break a bit. I lost it. Can't go too far forward, I suppose. When you come out of the ark, okay, when you come out of the ark, okay, these birth records of the children of Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, to whom was born children after the flood. Here's all the list there. Okay. Here's about the Asherite, the Assyrians. To Cush was born Nimrod, who began to be giant of the earth. He was lion-hearted. He was the head of his kingdom, which included Babylon, Erech, Akkad, and Calah. Okay, and from those lands we would see Asherite, who built Nineveh and the towns of Rehoboth and Calah. Okay, yeah, what's that verse on Asher again? Oh my gosh, I've lost it. Yeah, so completely different spelling, completely different person. Right. So the argument was debunked. Okay. Further down here. Can't see it, but it's in here somewhere. Yeah, okay, let me get back there again. I've lost it. Okay. Lost my focus. Oh my gosh, I did it again. Put A here. Okay. Genesis 35:26. Genesis 35:26. Was it 35:26? 35:26. Okay, 35:26. And the sons of Zilpah, Leah's maiden, were Gad and Asher. Completely different spelling. And these were Jacob's sons who were born to him in the Rams Peninsula. 26. Padan Aram, western region of Mesopotamia. That's where they were born. Yeah. So, oh my gosh, what is wrong with this thing? Yeah, see? So, as it says here, who was Asher in the Bible? Answer, Asher was the 8th son of Jacob, who came way after. Okay, who came way after the Asher, right? Ashur, which is the land, and the descendant of Shem. He came way after. Hopefully I haven't lost you, confused you, right? Okay. Let's put further too forward, I guess. Not too far forward. So, that went forward. Yeah, I hope I haven't totally confused you, as I did myself. Okay, so okay, here we go. Again. And the name of the third river is Tigris, which goes before Asher. That's the land. That's where the Asherite, the Assyrians came from, and that's where the king Asher, appointed by God, or Maya, was to sit on the throne and rule. And every other king after that used that name because it was a title of God, the name of God. Okay, so it's nothing to do with that Jacob's son that came later on, right? Asher, A-S-H-E-R. Okay. These Assyrians were the descendants of what's his name again? Shem, right? Who came before Jacob. I'm pretty sure that they came before Jacob. Okay. So come out of the ark after the supposed flood. Okay. Just to verify it. And again, and the sons of Noah that left the ark were Shem, Cam, and Japheth. Right. And Shem became the forefather. He had descendants from his sons, which were the Asherite. Okay. Children of Cam were Cush, Mizraim, is supposed to be Egypt, I think, Put and Canaan. And the children of Cush were Sheba, Havilah, Sabta, Ramah, and Sabtek, and the sons of Ramah were Sheba. And see, that's his descendants. Okay, so come way down here. Okay. And he's the forefather of the people in these lands. And the Asherite. Okay. Emerged the Asherite, that's the name of the Assyrian people, because they lived in the land of Ashur. Okay, so this is way before Jacob. Okay, descendants of Noah. Okay, not Jacob. Okay. Okay. So yeah. So yeah, that knocks their claims out of the ballpark. Okay. Yeah. Go back to where it was. And there's video evidence of the error in the biblical timeline to prove Ramses could not have been or was never the king of the Exodus. Look through the Exodus here, right? And the king of Egypt doesn't say his name. It is a lady. In the midwives, they found Moses, which is supposedly a story originated from Sargon, about Sargon the first or the second. Okay, let's see here. It says about the Pharaoh, right? Doesn't say his name. Go right through here. Okay. Yeah, this Genesis, Exodus 3:14. And God said to Moses, Ahia, Ashur, Hiya. It's probably Hebrew. I'm not too sure if it's Aramaic or Katav, Eshurit or Katav, Kotev. He's supposedly learned in Egypt from his grandfather or his father. Okay, which has a footnote here, indication, an asterisk down here, 340, literal Aramaic. Okay, this is the literal Aramaic word. 1, He, the one who comes in his coming, the absolute sense of the one who comes. Ashur, right? Where have we heard that word before? The land that the Tigris and the Euphrates ran around, okay, or ran before. Ashur, not A-S-H-E-R, but A-S-H-U-R, okay, the beginning spark that kindles the fire, or the ever-present and the never-ceasing intent of the comer to come. 5, in the same way, Ashur signifies the uncreated creator, right? God, or the Son of God, right? Who creates everything from nothing. They're both the same, they're one and the same. Okay. He creates nothing from nothing. 6, also, right? Yeah. Okay. Ashur, this is what it means. Signifies or signifying above the flames. Okay, so it's not talking about the son of Jacob, A-S-H-E-R, but a God, the God himself, right? A-S-H-U-R, right? Whom the Assyrians, the Ashurite, were named, right? And they dwelt in that land, Ashur of Assyria. So that totally blows their theory of the planet, their claim of the planet. Let's see what we got here. So somebody put here, probably just a link. Yeah, here we go. What's this? Some Assyrian. Okay, the Real Truth Congregation, Job 9:6, Isaiah 11:12. Okay, we could have that. Genesis 1:6. Yeah, Genesis 1:6. You looking at it? Okay, get it. Get a bit. Didn't happen. Genesis 1:6. I'll get the bottom. See what it says. Genesis 1:6. 1:6. 5:6. Silly boy. Genesis 1:6. And God said, what's he going on about this? Genesis 1:6. I'm sure that's what he said. Genesis 1:6. Revelation 9. What the hell is he going on about? Don't know why he was referring to me with that. Okay, see here we go. Sariah comes from Ashuriah, the Ashurite. Okay. The Bible says flat earth. I asked them for the verse. Probably because it's to me up here somewhere. Because the Bible actually says it's an orb, it's a globe. Supposedly Moses and Enoch went above the earth and actually saw that it was a globe, it was round, all sorts of stuff. Okay. Yeah, here we go. This guy in this nasty comment. Okay. KJV was commissioned in English and translated by 20 Hebrew and Greek scholars. Okay, and you suppose you didn't make it past grade 3. Okay, what this guy doesn't understand or realise or want to realise is that this is 1611 version, right? What I'm looking at is 800 BCE. Okay, this is a rewrite commissioned by King James, so many people on a panel, right? Basically Shakespeare and Lord, what's his name? Forgot his name. Bacon. Supposed to be lovers and all this sort of rubbish. Okay, so he tries to slander me, saying something nasty. I suppose you didn't make it past grade 3. Come on, man. It's just a cheap shot, you know. Looking at his YouTube channel, he's got 29 subscribers. I don't know why, but he suffered a loss. So I'm not going to be nasty and go, oh, you know, this is why your people died. No, that's not like me. Okay? It's not me. That's low. Okay? But that's a way to get at you. Okay? By insulting you. Okay? And he says, it depends on the transliteration. Can't you read, or is that word just too big for you? Another stab, right? Okay? So when I defined transliteration and translation, they have two different meanings. Okay? And this is a lady laughing at me. What's your source, Taticus? Okay? And then she's trying to verify again that Moses was actually Ramses was the king of Egypt in the Bible, right? Okay? And this guy's trying to tell me that this is the same Asher, right? It's completely different. Spelt wrong, just come from Bible Hub, because I went there, right? Berean Study Bible, it's a mistake, okay? Here goes again, depends on what we read. English Asher, who cares, semantics. He's trying to hint that that's exactly the same. It's not, see the difference? This is the son of Jacob. This is the land of where this is the name of title of God, and the land where the Asherite people came from. Okay? So I've totally blown their claims off the planet. But what I'm trying to get at is why do they always come at you, make assumptions, make up lies about you, try to slander you, and you act like a child that's been deprived of his lolly in the supermarket, you know? Yeah, like that, having your tantrums on, coming at you nasty like that. Okay, so so again I've totally blown it out of the water. The Asherite mentioned in Genesis 10:22 is the Assyrian peoples who spoke Asheri, or Asheri, or Asherit. Right? People known as the Asherai, Surai, etc. The Christians began to create, these Christians, especially this Christian, began to create unfair assumptions to undermine my statements and create lies and try to insult my intelligence, right? As I showed you there, right? Okay? So, and he says it doesn't matter, the words are the same, all depends on what transliteration you used, and it doesn't matter, it's all semantics, la la la. Okay, when it actually does matter. Why? Because if you don't write, speak, or know the original languages, or understand the idioms that they use, if they did write the Aramaic and the Hebrew, that all scripture was written in, all the meaning of idioms used, you won't understand what the original scribes or authors were trying to say or get across to their future potential readers. You will take it out of context, as he did, right? And it shows you can't read clearly. Okay, you can't grasp or understand fully what was written in black and white, what's obvious in black and white. Okay, and you're just going to compare it incorrectly to other people saying it's the truth when it's not. So I'm here to expose these kind of clowns, right? Okay, they come at me like that. Okay, I've got no problem with them, got no hate for them. You know, so I pity them because they're so blinded by error. You know, they won't admit to it. But how are they going to get over it, right? Their ego's been crushed. They're going to come back at you with nasty insults. retorts, etc. Whatever. This is a habit. This is something I've experienced time and time and time again with the religious, especially Christians. Right? When you expose their error, you're trying to educate them, right? Trying to get them to see the truth. They don't want the truth, right? Because they're so, how you put their head so far up their bum, with their errors, they don't want to be told that, okay? That they're wrong. So they've got to come at them for slander and so to gain the upper hand. Okay? So I already asked why if they're stooped this low. Okay, I could have used his loss of his family or whatever, by accident, whatever, against him as a retort, but I'm not that low. I don't need to come back at him like that. So I remain cool, calm, like a cucumber in a chiller, right? Even though they come at me with insults and all that sort of stuff, degrade me. Okay. So I asked, why do they have to stoop that low? I asked a lady, that was doing her masters for neurological studies, cognitive therapy, human behaviour, all that sort of stuff. And she says it's all neurological, a cognitive problem. She was going for a master's degree, then her master's degree, then her PhD. It's in cognitive behaviour. He told me you have exposed their belief as an error. We've hit a raw nerve in doing so. So as human beings, they hate being told that what they believe or hold so dear is wrong or an error. So they act, retort, react the way they do as they do. Okay. As I said, I could have reacted horribly, being 100% nasty when I happened to look at his YouTube channel to see what he was like or all about, and seeing he'd lost 2 family members, a sad loss for anyone I know because I've experienced it, and used it as a retort, got back at him in revenge. But I'm not that low to do that. I felt naturally sorry for his great loss at the time that I saw it, so never thought of using it against him in revenge, even though little voices thought he just like afterwards, so he's giving me this crap, right? Use it on him, right? Use it against him. No, it's not me. Okay. I did ask him what's his problem, because he kept attacking me, attacking. David Weiss and Rabbi says that's a problem with Christians. They attack, for no real reason. He just kept attacking me, right? Insulting me, etc. I could have used his great loss against him, but I knew, in revenge, but I didn't. I suggested that I could do this, and but I didn't do it. But I suggest, and this goes out to all so-called Christians or religiously inclined folks, get re-educated, get real, stay real, study your Bible verses about your mouth, how to control your tongue, what you say, what comes out, because what comes out of your mouth reveals what you really like, you really are, what you really like inside, in your head and your heart. Learn those scriptures well, know them by living them. For those who live them, know them, and those who know them, the ones living them. That's a very famous quote by motivational expert Jim Rohn. For what you do to others, expect it to be done to you. For how you treat others, you will be treated. In this scenario, all is forgiven if I forgive them all, right? Which I chose to do for those insults, those lies, those insults and put downs. Okay. I suggest you learn public relations, how to relate to others better, as your religion, your talk, your religion as your business, and learn how to hold yourself, act, talk, and react. Okay, how you come across. Okay? It can be the success of you or the ruin of you. Right? That's why people can't stand your religion, because you're coming at them like that. Okay. Go learn the verse. I think Jesus or someone quoted has written that here. It's there for correction and all that sort of stuff. Study it, you know. That's all it is, you know. A man that can't handle criticism, correction, etc., you know, in accordance with the scripture, etc., is useless to God. His religion is useless, right? If you can't control your mouth, your tongue, you're useless to God, okay? Because He hates a haughty mouth. Okay. If proselyting, trying to convince in order to convert, that's the whole idea of it, isn't it? To save souls. Learn the lesson I've given here. Learn it well, because if you don't, this is why people detest preachers, those preaching the word of God. Okay, teach rather than preach. Okay, re-educate rather than preach, and trying to force, convince, convert through threat, trickery, mockery, etc. Because remember, your religion is a business. You are out there trying to save souls, bring souls to Christ through the Holy Spirit's power, not your own. Okay? So, I've learned a life's lesson. Okay? What I throw out there at people, right, come scrap at me. Be one-fold, tenfold, whatever. It'll come back at me. Okay? There's that karmic concept that what you do to others, it's going to come back and bite you on the ass. The karma has that way of doing things, right? Doing that, right? Okay. So I basically have my personal experience on that. Because I've been through that. Yeah, but yeah. Learn those lessons and learn them well. Because if you don't, your religion to God is worthless. It's a total waste of time. Most of you just go be a painter or something like that. Okay, so I'm out. This is the Couch Criminal. If you like that, they're lengthy. Subscribe to my channel, add your comments, add your likes, and tell all your friends about it. About our channel, The Real Truth Congregation, and how we expose the lies and re-educate and present you the real truth. Okay, because we're all about the truth, and honesty is our best policy. So yeah, have a great day, and we will see you on the next exciting Real Congregation video.